Hello everybody out there, and welcome back here with the future once again to another showcase and review for everybody. And today we are going to look at the very cool 16-inch Rampage the Movie Mega George by Lanard Toys. It's a Walmart exclusive. Just like last year, the Kong Skull Island 18-inch posable Kong Mega figure was a Walmart exclusive by Lanard Toys. Lanard Toys and Warner Brothers definitely have the market cornered on giant movie monsters, and I'm really glad we're getting figures for Rampage the movie. These have been out since like January too, but Rampage coming out April 2018 on the 13th of that month. And yeah, we've had these figures for quite some time right now at stores, and I've already been lucky enough to pick up the Rampage Super Stretch figures, which I'll show you here in a second. But you also get the bonus Davis Okoye figure played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And of course, you know, Lanard Toys, if you didn't know, Lanard Toys are the ones that are responsible for making the core figures, which have been a long-running stable line at Walmart. They're like the little knockoff G.I. Joes is pretty much what they are. I think a lot of people know what the core figures are, but they're the ones that make the core, and they're also the ones that are making these giant movie monster toys too, and they're Walmart exclusives. So yeah, let's take a look here closer at the figs here, standing next to each other here, how I have them displayed. You can see the Kong Skull Island one came with a little generic Vietnam soldier for that film. And you get the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson Davis Okoye, an actual character in the film for this one. So some better lighting here. But there's the Super Stretch figures, and you can see George looks a lot different in the 1986 game, which this film is loosely based on. As you can see right by each other, there is George from the movie and George from the game. They made him albino with pink skin, light blue eyes in the movie. And in the game, he had more of a coloration like a King Kong. I think they would have ran into legal issues, myself, if they would have made him that color, so that's why they went the different route. Could have ran into legal issues with all three, really, in my opinion, if they would have made them look like they did in the games. But there's what they look like in the movie right there. Lizzie, Ralph, and then George. I like the color choice, though. I really dig the albino gorilla getting genetically mutated into this giant gorilla. A little bit different than Kong too. Kong stands taller too, and he doesn't have articulations at the hips like this one does, because he does not stand in that position. He is a bipedal creature, like the original Kong, so there was no reason to give him the ability to walk on his knuckles like they did George, which we'll look at here in a minute. But yeah, I want to thank everybody who subscribed lately, dropped any comments, left any kind of feedback. I really appreciate it. If it's your first time viewing, make sure you do all that I just mentioned. Make sure you go back and check out my reviews on these Rampage Super Stretch figures too. I'll put that up on the right where we checked out all three not too long ago. And yeah, I'm really excited to take a look at the Rampage the Movie Mega George by Lanard Toys, Walmart exclusive figure. So let's take a closer look now, guys. So here we have Mega George here, once again under some better lighting, from the Rampage movie, which is an upcoming sci-fi monster movie film loosely based on the video game series of the same name, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and directed by Brad Payton. It is New Line Cinema, distributed by Warner Brothers, just like Kong Skull Island was distributed by Warner Brothers and put out by Legendary Pictures. So definitely the market is cornered. And I love how Lanard Toys is doing the figures for these as well. And I could not pass this up when I saw it, because I love the Mega Kong, so you had to have Mega George. It's almost like a companion piece, even though the movies are not really related at all. But it would be sweet to see those two in battle here. And I love the packaging. You see George, Lizzie, and Ralph down to the bottom, and the logo, which I've showed off already. You have your warning down here as well. It has your 3+. Pretty much saying anybody over 3 years to check out. Chomp and claw action, try me, is a big error on this packaging. A lot of people have pointed out there is no chomp and claw action. There is chomp and claw action on the Big City Brawl Ralph figure. He does chomp down on a bus too, which is another thing that they put on here. There's the Lanard Toys and the exclusive Walmart sticker there, which you get on your Walmart exclusive figures. But yeah, Ralph has the bus and the chomp and claw action, but none of these other figures do, but it's just kind of like an error, I think, that they mistakenly made. I love the, you know, fur, white fur with the pink skin and the icy blue eyes. You can see there, a very good shot of the eye color there, which is kind of hard to see unless you get into some good lighting. The spotted skin. Also, he has the hip joint so he can knuckle walk. A good improvement. I like how the head is made where you can move him up and side to side. That is not something that they did on the Kong Skull Island Mega Kong. So they did make some articulation improvements on this figure. I think his arms are a bit longer than Kong's too, probably to be able to knuckle walk, but he is shorter too, so as Kong is 18 inches, he's about 16 inches tall. It's funny they didn't put any kind of inches on him on this one. And I can't find any thing online either about how tall George is supposed to be. Just a giant mutated ape. And there is Davis Okoye and his core glory, excuse me. But yeah, Rock is now the only one to be depicted in the core and G.I. Joe form. So that is very cool, in my opinion. And that looks a lot like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, so you can't complain on the figure itself. There's a nice little bonus you get. Very basic articulation on the figure as well. And he's got the cool city montage background, which I really like on this packaging as well. Very cool. The yellowish and orangish background. There's his primate feet and hands too, which is very cool. But a very good look at the skin color and all that on his paint scheme variations here. I love the spotted abdomen as well. But yeah, the Davis Okoye figure, I think they did a hell of a job on the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson likeness. This movie looks really fun, and despite what you think of the movie, these are really fun toys, and any kid would definitely love this figure, and any adults that are into giant movie monster collecting would definitely love this as well. And as we go to the back here, you can see he's a very muscular, very nice sized ape. So it looks like the movie's going to be very sweet. And as we go to the back here, you got the chomp and claw action and smash and chomp the bus, which makes no sense because there's no chomp and claw action and no bus to chomp on, for sure. You have New Line Cinema Rampage, the movie Mega George. It says primatologist Davis Okoye, a man who keeps people at a distance, shares an unshakable bond with George, the extraordinarily intelligent silverback gorilla who has been in his care since birth. But a rogue genetic experiment gone away mutates this gentle ape into a raging creature of enormous size. To make matters worse, it's soon discovered there are other similarly altered animals, such as George and Lizzie. As these newly created alpha predators tear across North America, destroying everything in their path, Okoye teams with a discredited genetic engineer to secure an antidote, fighting his way through an ever-changing battlefield, not only to halt a global catastrophe, but to save the fearsome creature that was once his friend. Aw. So what a storyline there. Seems like it'd be a very cool movie, though, as he goes through an ever-changing battlefield, kind of like in the game, which it's loosely based on. There's a back-end shot of Lizzie there, and I forgot to show you on the side. You get a better shot of the full-length Ralph, which they do have the Big City Brawl figures of all three, which are a little bit smaller scale to these, but they do look cool side by side, I must say, the Lizzie, George, and Ralph figure. I may pick up Ralph and Lizzie and do a mint in box review on those, because I do not like to bust anything open, really, unless it's something that, you know, like the stretchy figures. I gotta mess around with those at least once, and they're collector friendly. You can put them right back in there, but these I just like to keep side by side. That's just the way I am as a collector. Now we're going to bring Kong in here and check out a side-by-side comparison of the Lanard Toys 18-inch Mega Kong and the 16-inch Lanard Toys Rampage the Movie George. So here's a comparison of the two Mega figures by Lanard Toys, Walmart exclusives, next to each other side by side. You can see Kong stands quite a bit taller than George, which is actually fitting because George is, or Kong is a lot bigger ape and a, you know, not a genetically mutated ape, but actually a creature on his own merit. He stands bipedal too, and as I said, you know, the hip joints that they were given for him to knuckle walk with were not given to Kong, and it makes sense because Kong is not meant to knuckle walk. He walks upright, bipedal, like he did in the original movie. And Lanard Toys, who has the market cornered right now on the Legendary Pictures and Giant Movie Monster figures, I hope that when they release Godzilla King of the Monsters or Godzilla vs. King Kong, that we get a Godzilla figure in scale with these guys, because it would be badass to have him right next to it. The Big City Brawl, Lizzie and Ralph, like I said, I may pick those up. They're under $10 a piece, and they're fitting to have alongside George for the movie figures. Like I said, I have all 3 Super Stretch figures, so might as well get the movie figures. But these guys look amazing side by side. Another thing is Kong didn't hardly have any head articulation. You couldn't lift his head up or side to side much. But this one has the head up, and you can move him side to side a lot more easier, which would have been a cooler feature to have for Kong, in my opinion, if they were going to do anything different on this figure. But I understand the hip joints. But you can see the comparisons, totally different sculpts to one another. The abdomen's different and everything, so I think that's really cool that they didn't just repaint one of the Kong figures from last year and make him a George, which they could have easily done, and they opted not to. And of course, Kong has a lot more fierce look on his face, but man, I love it. I love the ember eyes there too. But you see he has the yellowing on the teeth. George also has that yellowing color on the teeth, but not quite as bad. But he has a ferocious look, but they didn't give him the same kind of expression, which they could have gave him that expression. But it's cool that they went with the choice to do this figure differently. And I don't know if I mentioned, but on the backs, you can see there that George is in his pose down there, knuckle walking. So you can actually bend this guy down at the abdomen and legs and have him standing on his knuckles. Of course, Kong didn't need that, but looking at the backs of these, you know, both by Lanard Toys, they didn't put any mistakes on the Kong Skull Island ones and had a cross-sell here for other things you could collect. It would have been cool to have a little cross-sell here of the Big City Brawl figures or something, because these were not all giant size as well. But they did give you a little small write-up. They gave you a bigger write-up on the movie on this one. But other than that being weird that they put that on there, I love that he can, you know, walk on all fours there. And I really like the packaging a lot more than I did the Kong Skull Island packaging, so they updated it there. Although I do love the cool illustration here. But I like how they give you another shot of how the figure can walk on all fours. This was not needed, though, but they do give you a shot of him out of the packaging. 2 really cool giant movie monster apes here. Gotta love them. I don't have really much else to say. The Davis Okoye figure, they did a really good job on. First to be a core in a G.I. Joe, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He's had a lot of firsts in his life. But yeah, guys, I really, really love both of these. And I really appreciate everybody for checking this out. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you like what you saw. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think of the upcoming Rampage the movie figure here. And the upcoming Rampage the movie coming out on April 13th, 2018. Are you excited to see it? What do you think about how it will be? But yeah, I might pick up those Big City Brawl figures. So there may be a few more Rampage the movie showcase and reviews to come. But yeah, it's cool that I did these exactly a year to the day, back on March 17th, 2017, I did the Kong, and March 17th, 2018, I'm doing the George. So it's so fitting that he made his appearance once again on the same day. But yeah, guys, thanks for checking this out. I'm really, really digging George. And yeah, guys, till next time, thanks for watching. And as always, peace out.